What's up, everybody? This is Scratch with the Xbox Ambassadors. A while ago, actually last fall, I got this game from the Xbox Ambassadors to create content, and I had an opportunity to make some more because I had someone on Twitter, right there, ask me about actually, I should back up. I had also made a video about the Elite controller versus the old Scuff controller. That's this one right here. Not the new one, but the Elite versus the old Scuff controller that I had, and some differences and things like that. And so he asked me, he watched that, and then of course he asked me about, what configuration do you use for Call of Duty? So I didn't really have one, I guess. I just kind of been using a little bit of a default one, but I'm just going to show you what I use for my newer loadout that I've been kind of using. This loadout right here. I'll leave it up and talk for a little bit here so you guys can screenshot it. I actually just got this K-Bar 32 Igloo Buster, so I switched over to that weapon now. Not that I'll ever get a 25-pair kill streak, but if I do, that'll be really, really cool. But this is what I use. So you can change this up a little bit. Depending on what weapon you use is going to depend on how you adjust what you have. But this is what I have, and this will probably work for new players. Most new players will have at least some version of these weapons. So if we shoot over here to the Xbox Accessories app where you can make your adjustments, you can pause the video right here if you want to just quick copy what I have there, but let me just jump in and kind of explain what we have. So for the button mapping, I have on the right side I have A and B. That's my jump and my slide because I have a default configuration. And then on the left side I have X and Y because that's reload and swap your weapons to your secondary. And the reason that I do that is because that allows me to never have to take my thumbs off of the sticks, and I can always be aiming and shooting and whatever, especially in the middle of, like, you know, the heat of battle. If you get used to doing that, it does take a little bit of practice. It works out pretty good. So if we take a look at the left stick, I have the instant set on, so pretty much any little bit of even just the slightest stick movement, and it jumps out to the outer part of the ring. So when you're making these adjustments here, basically what this is, when you're looking at the blue versus the gray right there, is that showing you the difference between the input of where the stick physically is versus what is being sent to the game. So that's why you can make these adjustments. So I use the instant here because that allows me to just, you know, turn quickly in any direction, and then basically this slider down here will adjust that outer ring. Like, I think it's more instant if it's less instant if you take it all the way down here, where the curve is a lot higher. It's way more instant up here, but I leave it, like, I think at about 2-ish. I like it a little bit more instant than default instant. So next is the right stick right here, and what I do here is I'm using the smooth. Now I haven't quite figured this one out yet, but basically what the smooth does is it kind of like starts out ahead of your input and then like slowly catches up, and what this does is kind of allows me, I think, to sort of, it just kind of slows me down. Like, I still move really fast, but in smaller increments, so that it when I'm aiming down sights, I don't overcorrect and shoot past an enemy, or you know, like if somebody's up high and I go to aim high, I can aim high really fast, but it doesn't go, it only goes a little bit fast, and then it'll slow down. That way I don't like overcorrect and shoot above them, and that's what this smooth seems to kind of do. It also helps if you're a sniper. And then for the trigger locks, I have the left trigger set to 5 and 40. I think that's pretty much good for any weapon. You can see here it pretty much will bring up your aim down sights pretty quickly. It does still slow down on the sniper rifles, but 5 and 40 seems to be pretty good. You could probably adjust that a little bit. And then the right trigger, I have set between 10 and 60 because that seems to be a sweet spot. It seems to be a sweet spot for most weapons that I've used. I don't have all of them unlocked. I don't have all the different variations unlocked. But that seems to be a pretty good sweet spot. Depending on the weapon that you could use, though, I do think you could come in and probably, you know, tweak that up a little bit. The biggest thing is going to be your sticks and get those down. And a lot of it is also going to depend on what you're comfortable with. You're probably not going to be comfortable with this when you first play it, but if you play a bunch of bot matches, you'll probably be okay. And after a while, you'll get used to it. Vibration and the Xbox button brightness have no effect on whatever you do, so that's just a preference thing. And then if you come back over here to Call of Duty with the multiplayer options, I have the button layout and the stick layout as default, and then the other important thing is going to be your horizontal and your vertical sensitivity. I have them set to high 7. I do think I could get this a little bit higher, so I could move and turn corners a little bit faster, and then also control it a little bit better with some more stick adjustments. But where I have it in this video is a pretty good starting point, and you're probably going to want to get used to this one first before you try to make it any any faster. So hopefully that helps. If you guys have any questions, comments, or whatever, reach out to me on Twitter. I'll make a video most of the time. This one's been, I don't know, since the 2nd of January, so it's taken me a little while to get to it, but I did get to it. So here we are, and let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys decide, because this really boils down to personal preference, but this is a pretty good starting point, especially for beginner players, who don't have a whole lot unlocked like myself. So thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.